Let's open up the debate, and as we open up the debate, there are 2 points I want to make. First, we are going to go straight into open debate, no introductory comments, because we want the debate to flow right from the start today. I hope I have everyone's agreement on that. And the second point is that we are going to open up to phone calls. We have told our viewers, and we'll put the numbers on your screen right now. On Newshour viewer, I have a question. You can call, tweet, or you can reach us via email, and all those contact details will be on your screen. Question is very simple. That's it, on your screen. Issues that impact your life on a regular basis now on the news are on public demand, I must say. We're opening up to you. Now, my first question tonight, let's quickly go with the round of introductions. Not in the studio, Shazia Elmi of the Aam Aadmi Party, Mohandas Pai, one of India's best-known entrepreneurs, former director Infosys, Piyush Goyal, Rajya Sabha MP and Member of Parliament of the BJP, Sanjay Jha, spokesperson of the Congress, Kumar Ketkar of the Bhaskar Group, and Shailesh Gandhi, one of India's most preeminent RT activists and former CIC. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Let's begin. Now, what should we expect of Sharad Pawar? Let's make the introductory comments. I put the first question to you, and then we'll open up, right? I'm not going to go around 6 questions to 6 people. We can interject. So the first question is, the expectation from Sharad Pawar is that there'll be slight amount of empathy. Don't you? Is there too much? In January, he says, January 2010, by the way, he said, I'm not an astrologer to predict when prices would come down. No, you don't have to be an astrologer to predict, but when it's 2013, 7 months before the election, little bit of sensitivity or responsiveness, perhaps, too much to ask?
No, I could just comment broadly, not just on onion prices, on food inflation, because I think that is the more critical aspect. And
no, we are talking about onion prices.
Okay,
let's focus it on onion prices. Yes.
Fair enough. I think onion prices is something that is a matter of concern for, I think,
for some time. It has been a matter of concern for some time.
But I would like to just make 2 statements here. Number one, that price volatility of the kind that you're seeing is not going to be permanent. Number one.
We've been hearing that.
No. Number two.
We heard that in August. Now it's September.
Kaushik Basu has been saying it for the last 5 years, and then Raghuram Rajan said it, and the Prime Minister is saying it day in and day out.
Piyush, in an opening statement, I would prefer if I don't get interrupted.
No, we are opening this up to debate. I said it.
And my second point will be that, you've had an extremely good monsoon. And remember, Arnab, that 2012 was a near drought year for India.
No,
it could have been declared as a drought year for
India. I'm just asking I'm just asking why. Are you justifying 100 rupees a kilo?
No, I'm not. In
By the way, to all our other panelists, you can also come in at the debate. Piyush is going to respond. Are you justifying it?
At the very beginning, Piyush, just one line. At the very beginning, I would like to say here, and not just as a representative of the Congress party, but as someone who is like everybody else.
No, you are a representative of the Congress party on the program.
I'm also adding the point that we empathize with the fact that the prices
we don't need empathy, we need action.
Beyond what should be a normal acceptable limit. But the government is taking action on that already.
Just last week, the Prime Minister, the Finance Minister, the Economic Advisor, and the RBI Governor, all 4 made a comment last week when IMF downgraded our economic growth prospects. They said, oh no, the monsoon has been very good. We are going to have a bumper crop. Agricultural growth will be very good.
It will be.
Therefore, economic growth will be good. Now, I just heard you say that the monsoons are bad and therefore the crop is down.
The monsoons are outstanding. You'll get the benefits of it.
My question is...
You will get a bumper harvest. I said, in fact...
No, the question tonight is this, Sanjay.
We've been hearing that for months and months.
You see, the question is, Shazia, the question is this. Let's get everyone in, right?
One point is, what is the question of empathy here? The question is action.
Yeah, where's the action?
Obviously, the production is not down.
So there's no action.
And therefore, the action has to be there. Has anybody raided the holders, if there are any holders, since production is up and still the prices are high, which means there is hoarding going on.
Because Sharad Pawar does not
hoarding is going on. Otherwise, how can there be sudden rise in prices? I've been asking Piyush, he is an expert in economics.
Kumar Ketkar, 1 minute.
How can prices go up when the production is high?
I'll tell you how.
Because Mr. Sharad Pawar in September says that up to October I expect prices to be high. He's giving a signal. The NCP runs the mandis of Nasik. He has clearly indicated to the people that
holders. It is a signal to the holders.
That is the UPA government.
And UPA government's biggest failure is not to attack the holders, not to raid the holders. That's the biggest failure.
I think the problem right now of the government is Sanjay, 1 minute. Can I just but point is, Kumar Ketkar, can I just request you 1 minute? Sanjay, 1 minute. You see, one second. I appreciate. I always.
Governments have to take action.
Once. See, the point here is. Let's 1 second. Mohandas Pai, I'm going to Mohandas. Mr. Pai, as I go across to you, the simple point is, I am asking today that Sharad Pawar, and I know I'm going after Sharad Pawar says people should not complain. I mean, I have this September 2013, Mohandas Pai. Sharad Pawar says there is a lot of talk of rise in onion prices.
One minute. Give me 1 minute because Sanjay just said the state. Just 1 minute. Sanjay just said the state should take action. May I just tell Sanjay? 52% of India's production is in the 3 states that your party runs. Maharashtra, Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh.
1 minute.
And 72% of India's production is under UPA and its
Piyush Goyal, just to allow me, Piyush
So if the states have to act, it's again your party which has to act.
1 minute, please. First of all,
everybody, why generalize?
First of all,
you run all the onion producing states.
Can I request 1 minute? Can I request our Newsa producers to give us a long shot of the studio right now? And I'll tell you why. Because 1 minute. I'll tell you why. On a lighter note, I have deliberately kept Piyush Goyal and Sanjay Jha as far away from each other as possible, so that you don't hijack the debate. Don't do
in the middle. That's a big story.
I'm always in the middle. The question is this: Sharad Pawar said, Mohandas Pai. I'm coming to you. Sharad Pawar says, when prices fall, no one shows any concern for the farmers. When farmers are getting money for their produce, we should not complain. So Sharad Pawar puts a facetious argument that you should not complain. Before I come to you, what do you think about that, Shailesh?
This is false completely. Even now, the wholesale price, mandi prices are between 15 rupees to 45 rupees per kg.
Yeah.
And if they are getting delivered at 90 and 100 rupees, it is not the farmer getting the money.
Exactly.
I think that Mr. Agricultural Minister actually has this approach saying, if you can't get onions, go and watch cricket.
No, you know the approach of the approach right now, Mohandas Pai, of the Agriculture Minister is so flawed, because the Agriculture Minister should know that the Competition Commission of India in its 2012 report says farmer has little say in the price of onions.
That's right.
It says onion trade is unilaterally dictated by traders, not farmers. Now, unless Mr. Pawar is for the traders who are making money at the cost of the Aam Aadmi, he should revise his opinion. Mohandas Pai, what do you think?
Arnab, there's market manipulation and big money involved. Let me give some data.
Yeah,
there are 8 crore families in the urban areas. If they buy 2 kgs a week and pay 50 rupees more per kg, that's 100 rupees. And 100 rupees into 8 crores is 800 crores a week, Arnab. There's big money. You manipulate, and this is the money for the elections. The markets are getting manipulated. And if you take it over a month, 800 crores into 4 weeks, 3,200 crores more money. Arnab, it happens all the time. I mean, every 4 months, 5 months, elections are coming. Look at the money involved.
Absolutely correct.
God.
I mean, we are so fully agree with Mohandas.
And then you say,
the middlemen and the controlling, the big money.
And then you say, when a reporter asks you a question where you are celebrating coming back as Mumbai Cricket Association chief, you say apply your common sense. I mean, today Mr. Pawar must apply his real common sense and ask himself, Shazia Elmi, as I come to you, why he is actually saying he cannot predict. But does Mr. Sharad Pawar want to? Does he want to exert his influence along with the other ministers to make that change, is the question we are asking today. Shazia.
No.
Shazia has not spoken yet. She's been very quiet so far. Shazia, your turn.
Do you know the old adage, religion is the opium of the masses? Sharad Pawar should know cricket is not the onion for masses.
Yeah, well said.
Know that one. And
well
on
said.
a more serious note, the onion prices have gone up to a 245% annually. That means last year the same onions costed so much less. That's one. Now they're blaming hoarders, they're blaming cartelization. Now they're blaming the states. What were they doing since the last 3 months? What has been the action taken against cartelization and against hoarders? I would like to know also from Sharad Pawar ji.
Good point.
When the piyaz in Lasalgaon cost 15 rupees to 20 rupees, how come it costs 80 to 90 rupees and now 100 rupees in Safal stores? We want to know the mystery. And if you're not capable of handling this procurement, and also now suddenly they've realized that they can't, also suddenly they've realized that they can't export onions anymore and they can't hike up the MEP any further. I mean, if you're not capable of understanding basic economics, you don't care for the people, you don't know how to do the job, then get out of there. Why are you there? Why should we have to tolerate it, Sharad Pawar?
This government stays, the nation pays.
Piyush, let me tell you. Your turn, let her speak. And I'll come to you after that, Sanjay. I also have a question. By the way, should I open up the lines to Newsar? I have a question right now. Do I have Do I have the permission? No, one. Okay, so I say this. First of all, I want to thank everyone tonight. All our viewers, not just our panelists, who are responding, I must say, in tremendous numbers. We are opening up the lines and we are told, I have a question, is trending all across India on social media, which means people are concerned about this subject. They want to speak.
They're crying.
Now, my question is, I think, Sanjay Jha, take it back to you, let's then get into the debate.
Sure.
Second point I'm making tonight is, if an onion price is 100 rupees somewhere, where is your emergency response? In 2004, the government removed onions from the Essential Commodity Act. By the way, NDA had included onions in the Essential Commodity Act in 99. UPA removed it from the list in 2004. Onion prices have now escalated their debates. Now they've hit 100 rupees. Why has your government not re-included onions in the list of essential commodities? Because that would have really made you check hoarding. Now you need to tell us, sir, why your government does not include onions as essential commodities when week after week on national media and in bazaar after bazaar, the people of this country are talking about. Tell me.
Let me answer your question, but quickly.
Be on the point. Why did you not bring it back to the essential commodity?
But I need to quickly answer because Piyush made a point here, and I'm glad we are sitting on opposite sides of the spectrum.
No, you would have come to punches otherwise.
Well, let me tell you, if you're saying, and we all know that the traders are hoarding, that's one of the biggest constituency of the Bharatiya Janata Party, which is why they don't allow the FDI and multi-brand retail, because organized retailing would put an end to the hoarding business.
You know, it could also be the American hand. You normally used to find the foreign hand.
Let me answer your question.
Now when we have come in.
No, let me answer your question.
Don't you find the Pakistan hand or the foreign hand in this?
Let me answer your question in very simple terms.
No, can I just one second? Do you believe that the traders here are responsible for this?
Well,
do you believe the do you believe the harshest punishment now needs to be reserved towards the trading classes?
Not to the class, to the people responsible.
You are for it.
Problem with this government is they cannot separate the wheat from the chaff. They are blaming the trading class as a whole. Because they are used to being, for example, as a political class as a whole, they have behaved in a certain fashion. I think it's a question of individuals which need to be...
But without traders hoarding, is it possible that the prices will rise?
Who denies that? But who has to take action?
Being against
the government has to take action. Why doesn't it take action?
But government
why does it blame a class?
I have a question.
Why does it divide India?
Traders who have become hoarders.
Why do they divide India? Why don't they take action?
Piyush Goyal, you'd answer a question with respect to Gujarat, your favorite state.
Yeah, of course.
The statistics for Gujarat, as per the note for the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, says, because we are assuming here that with the steep drop, that means there's hoarding going on, right? We agreed? When there's a steep drop in market arrivals, right? You're a chartered accountant, you know this, that means there is hoarding going on. Now the statistics on Gujarat, Piyush Goyal, you can check your facts if it's right or wrong. Yeah. My information is that there is a drop of 45%.
In what?
In market arrivals. In the statistics of Gujarat with 2,55,853 quintals between the months of April and July, compared with 4,65,782 in 2012, which approximately is a drop of 45%. Now, weather is not the reason for that, right?
Yeah, but
hoarding is the reason. No, hoarding is the reason.
May I explain?
What have you done for that?
No, may I explain?
Yeah.
Gujarat...
No, first of all, are the statistics correct?
I don't know the specific statistic. I wish you had given me earlier. I would have studied it. But I'll give you the right reason. Yeah. Gujarat, in the whole country, Gujarat produces only 4% of the onion that India...
I'm talking about the specific stats of Gujarat.
You must listen. Gujarat produces only 4% of the national onion production. Gujarat buys onions from Maharashtra, which produces 28%.
So you're passing the buck to the Maharashtra?
Because if Maharashtra does not supply, what can Gujarat do?
By the way,
that's the reality.
By the way, I think we moved away from the subject. Why have you not included onions in the essential commodity?
Well, let me tell you, I mean, if you look at fuel, that is an essential commodity. No,
onions.
Tomorrow you say mango prices are up. Why isn't that an essential?
No, I am asking you.
I think this is what
Sanjay.
No, I think
you can't compare.
I'm saying an essential commodity. Can I explain to you? Fruits and vegetables,
we're going to open
a lot of that is being damaged today because they're perishable. And you know, one of the reasons why, Arnab, I'm going to tell you, let's not panic today, because end of day, when you have a better monsoon, there's winter around the corner, perishability improves at that point of time, you are going to see a better production. I do agree though with you that at this point, the hoarding community needs to be taken a strict action against. I think the hoarding community is getting away scot-free. That's a matter of all stakeholders to take action.
Shazia and Mohandas Pai both coming in. By the way, I'd like to remind you, you had the warning signals 5 months back. You chose to do nothing. When you choose not to act, then we will ask, was there a conspiracy behind choosing not to act? That's a valid question. Shazia, please. Shazia, please, rebutting you now. Please.
Arnab, with your kind permission, Arnab, I would like to tell Mr. Jha, not ask him, that this is hitting people really hard. It's a real crisis situation wherever you go, not just low-income group areas, but middle-income groups at all levels. And he's saying that people should not panic. This affects the food. This affects the daily meal. This affects our lives. It's getting really tough. So how can Sanjay Jha obfuscate and run away?
Mohandas Pai. No, one second. Sanjay, 1 minute. Sanjay, Mohandas Pai, I request you.
Anybody on this panel who's more concerned about price rise as part of the government, it's us.
You know what?
And we are the ones who are more than anyone, concerned about putting things back
Mohandas Pai. Then
so please do not believe that there is any, lackadaisical approach on our side. Please.
Mohandas Pai.
Enough. Piyush made a statement that a few people manipulate the market. They are in control of the onion market in a particular state. They're controlling the market, creating shortages to jack up the price, make money, and that money can be used for elections. Elections are coming, and they're doing it every quarter. Everybody knows about it in the marketplace. You ask financial analysts in Bombay, they'll give the names of people who own a very large share. There are only a few people. Competition Commission knows. Now the government is important. The government does not do anything. So we don't know whether people in government are supposed to do it. Also have to shake in the money. It's a money manipulation game.
Our first caller on User Viewer, I have a question.
They are being exported.
Our first caller on I have a question, and he's the first caller on I have a question, is Pradeep Sharma, and Pradeep is calling from Northampton. Now, I don't know what the prices are there in Northampton in the United Kingdom. I'm pleasantly surprised you're watching in Northampton. But go ahead, Pradeep. I'm sure you have your point. Go ahead.
Hi, Arnab. I really am a big fan of you, the first thing, and I've been watching this show from a long time. Coming to the point, is like I just to bring the point here, like onion prices here are around 67 penny per kg, and if we turn it in rupees, that will be around 66 rupees or 67 rupees per kg.
Yeah,
and it's around 33 rupees less as compared to India. Prices are here.
You won't get it at that price back home. I can assure you. Pradeep, thanks for calling. Thanks for watching in Northampton. Now, I don't think lower onion prices are the only reason for you to be there in United Kingdom. I hope that. One second. The next caller. Pradeep. Next caller.
Production of onion. UK does not produce onion.
The next caller.
UK is not a producer of onions.
The next caller is Ayushman Srivastav, and he's calling in from Noida. Ayushman. Hello and welcome to I Have a Question.
Hello, Arnab.
Yep, go ahead.
My question to you is that in an agriculturally rich country like India, how is it possible to have such a crisis of onion without the faults of government bodies as they are implying?
Well, absolutely. Well, that call comes in from Ayushman. You want to take that, Mr. Gandhi? Completely man-made, created, engineered crisis.
I'm actually distressed at both my major political parties in this country. You made a very valid point saying in Gujarat, why has the receipt dropped by 45%?
Yeah,
Mr. Goyal chose to not talk about it and talk about
it.
No, sir.
You didn't probably hear my answer. Sir, I said Gujarat produces
I heard
4% of the national production.
I heard that.
Yeah, then why did you not hear?
The drop in receipts is something that you duck completely. And of course, Sanjay
we import from Maharashtra. So the problem is in Maharashtra. It is not in Gujarat.
But let him give his point of view.
And I think Sanjay gave a great comment saying, if the price of mangoes goes up, will we control mangoes?
No, I'm saying we can't call it an essential commodity.
No, so we would not. Sanjay, one second. We would not call. Just a minute. We would not call mangoes essential commodity. We would call onions essential commodity. And if we can't see the difference, between mangoes and onions.
No, 1 minute.
I think.
Salish, can I make a point?
No.
The definition of an essential commodity is based on the elasticity of that product. So, for example, if the price of petrol or diesel goes up, no matter what happens, the demand will not fall by the same proportionate level, right? I think there are some products that can be substituted. So that's the logic.
But I want to get to 1 minute. May I interrupt you right there? I want to hold you right there. I appreciate your attempt to teach basic, economics on the News Hour program. But I also
common sense.
No, but it's not that law of elasticity.
You expect the poor to change their
let me tell you, there are religious communities in India that don't eat onion all their lives. No, let's not go into that.
Sanjay, but don't interrupt.
This is exactly like the Prime Minister.
Arnab Goswami, now let me have a chance before the other person.
No, but you must take a question occasionally. You must take a question occasionally. And the question here is this. Thank you very much. And remember, every News Hour viewer at this moment is watching you, judging you, and deciphering you on the basis of whether you will answer the question.
I'm sure they trust us for that.
I am sure on the basis of whether you answer my question and not the question which you want me to ask.
Okay.
Sanjay Jha. And the question is this, that the centre had asked the state governments to crack down on hoarding. Everyone was warned about it. And I can prove to you that the National Agricultural Cooperative Marketing Federation, NAFED, I am told, and I am quoting a letter which was given out in July, had offered to procure onions at wholesale prices in June. They said this crisis is going to come. So let us start building up our wholesale prices procurement in June to build up stocks so that this can be released to state governments at a time of shortage, right? Now, the point is, what happened since then? This offer was made, but once the other point was that no single state government responded to the offer, not even Delhi, which was the worst hit. It mystifies me. What it tells me is that political parties across the board knew this crisis was going to happen. Sharad Pawar knew this crisis was going to happen. Centre did nothing. Centre informed the state governments. Nobody alerted. In other words, people didn't care. The political parties, whether in Maharashtra or Gujarat or anywhere, didn't quite care about the impending onion crisis. You agree with me?
It was the duty of the Central Agriculture Ministry, Union Agriculture Ministry to monitor what happened to the NAFED order. Yeah. What happened to the prices going up or going down? Yeah. What was happening? Why should it suddenly, descend on us?
Yeah.
But so obviously,
the solution to this is banning exports altogether.
No, but I think that is
taking action against the hoarders.
That is a thought.
Let me tell you, festive season, the demand rises significantly.
That is what has to be anticipated.
I appreciate
but the point
is, anticipate that. I agree with that.
No, the simple
that is where it's a can I just request you not to
never let's minimize
I request Sanjay, one thing all of us can agree that it is not to the farmers' benefit, all this price rise that is going on. It is to the benefit only of the traders.
Yeah.
So let us completely cut out that crap saying that it ultimately helps the farmers. The rise in prices, it does not.
That can
help the traders who become holders.
Can I request you, please let me hold this house. Now, we have a next caller. And our next caller on I have a question is Laidi, and she's calling in from Chennai. Laidi, good evening.
Good evening, Anna.
Good evening. It's a noisy debate. What would you like to say?
I have a number of points I would like to raise as a question. I have noticed on my research that Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat and Karnataka are the onion-producing states of India. I have also noticed that the price of onions in those states are very high. Secondly, I know there is a 4.8% drop in the harvest, in the last harvest of onions. However, there's a 300 and 500% rise in the price of onions. Thirdly, I know that the licenses for export are given by the central government and not by the state government.
Precisely.
So, how can the state governments then provide the outflow, prevent the outflow of onions?
I think, Laidi, you made a very strong point. One minute.
Let me a technical mistake. Let me just correct the But how can you let a technical mistake go? See, she has said Gujarat in the list. The actual list is with me. Maharashtra produces 28%, Karnataka 15%, Madhya Pradesh 13%, Andhra Pradesh 9%, Bihar 8%, Gujarat only 4%.
So Gujarat is
and
number
correcting Gujarat is number 6 at 4%.
I think we should admire.
She missed out the two important Congress states in between.
Piyush Goyal.
I'm just correcting.
Piyush Goyal, 1 minute, please. Can I please request you to be
monitored by Gujarati traders?
You see.
Now you're bringing parochial.
Without being communal. Without sounding parochial.
Now it is parochial.
Sorry, I'm sorry if it is parochial, but I'm saying this is
clearly parochial.
Trade is not monitored.
I thought it was only Congress which divides society.
I am just saying that trade is not monitored by Maharashtra.
I did not. Journalists also do divisive.
No, I am not saying that. Sorry if I am brought that point.
Can I just request you?
I'm not a Gujarati, but
this is not.
I'm sorry for that point, but
now you're going to have to let me come in, please, because this is not a. This is not a time.
Arnav, you might need my help for the first time.
This is not a time. I wish it was a time for quipping. I wish it was a time for asides, but I think this is an extremely serious time that we are hitting today. And I think we need to appreciate the seriousness of the occasion. Now, I know, Shazia, that last month KV Thomas, who's our food minister, said that there were no plans to declare onions as an essential commodity. I am asking you today, why don't you declare onions as an essential commodity? If you declare onions as an essential commodity, you'll have to stop the exports. So some businessmen will be affected. So what?
True.
Let them be affected, right, Shazia?
You know, if you look at the, absolutely, and if you look at the weightage given to onions, even if the pricing is concerned, it's very minor, and you wonder why. It is, after all, an essential commodity. This affects our daily meal. But I would like to ask Piyush ji before that India is a large country. We are not talking about Gujarat alone. So please see the entire country and not keep defending just Gujarat.
No, since the lady made a mistake.
And it's not about scoring political brownie points.
Please, you know.
That's the third point and the important point. And the point I want to make here, that not only the politicians, it seems that the food minister, the agriculture minister or the commerce minister, they don't care, but also they don't seem to know what they're doing. So not only do we have a government which really doesn't care and responds to the people, but doesn't seem to have an idea where pricing is concerned, where price stability is concerned, where procurement is concerned. So I wonder, what are we talking about
I think the point, you know, I think Shazia, the point you make is very important. This is no rocket science. There is hoarding. You need to stop the hoarding. You need to punish the hoarders. Sure. I'd say that I put this question, let all the onions that these hoarders have put there hoping to export it or sell it, let it rot. Let them suffer the losses, let it rot, let them suffer the losses, let them be forced to release it, because my information is we are talking Maharashtra, right? In Maharashtra, onion production fell by 5%, but supplies to major markets in Maharashtra fell 20% to 40%. The moment you make it an essential commodity, the moment somebody realizes that, you know, if I hoard onions, I'll be put in jail for the next 5 to 6 years, they'll stop doing it, I tell you. Why does the government not show the courage to do that? I have a caller. And my next caller, I'm coming to you. Mohandas Pai, you want to say something? Okay, go ahead. Then we have a caller from Jaipur.
Yeah. Anna, please, I keep repeating, there's very big money involved in the entire thing. Why will the government take a decision? Why will the minister take a decision when there's such huge money involved? Absolutely. It's a money game. After 2 weeks, they will bring it down and they made the money and they'll laugh all the way to the bank. Nobody cares for the citizens in this country. The government of India, state governments don't care. Somebody is manipulating the market, they're making money.
Mohandas, you're too cynical. I'm sorry to say that. I really have a lot of admiration for you, but you're very, very cynical.
You know, I'm sorry to tell you that. Sanjay, look at data.
No, I don't think in today's times anybody can be so brazen and blatant to manipulate the common man's interests for the sake of whatever you're alleging. I think that's a very far.
Can I read out what the Prime Minister said in November 2011?
Briefly, then I'll take a call.
Yeah, the Prime Minister said, what prices are going up are prices of vegetables, prices of eggs, prices of fish, that is secondary and tertiary food items. That is a reflection for the demand growing. So he actually belittled price increase. And he made it out as if increased prices is a reflection of growth in the economy.
Protein-related goods like milk, fish, eggs and meat has gone up because we are having greater degree of prosperity. It's something to feel proud of.
So we should be proud that prices are going up. And the common man has to pay 4 times.
Supply. We need to increase supply. That is the problem.
That we all know. That's your job as the government. That's your job as the government.
Piyush Goyal,
Prices are not high.
Separate.
Don't justify.
Now, you know what I tell you. Now, tonight, beyond a point of time, we want a solution. We don't want political point scoring. We really want a solution here today. And I'm sorry to have to say this, but there has been nothing but passing the buck. Don't respond, Piyush, and don't respond, Sanjay Jha. But the brutal fact is, September 13th, there was a circular sent out to state government saying, do something. This is sounding, I'm sorry to say, like one of those intelligence circulars which is sent, of which a photocopy is sent to every state government office every few months, saying that, there might be a terrorist attack in your state. Do something about it. Every temple, every crowded place could be attacked. Do something about it. What you do is your business. Don't ask me. I have covered my back. You cover yours. That's not the way this country has got to be run. Our next caller this evening is Mr. Solanki from Jaipur. Mr. Solanki, I don't know what the prices are in Jaipur, but there it's quite bad nationally.
Yes, sir. Sir, my question is from Mr. Sanjay Jha. I want to ask him that every time. Hello?
Go ahead, go ahead.
Sir, every time a common man, a poor man, ask an answer for what are you doing for the common man, they start hosting the flag that the food security bill. We have passed the food security bill. But they ought to know that not only rice, not only grain, but onion is the basic food of a common man. So what are they doing? It is quite ridiculous, sir. And he every time justifies his statement about what are they doing. Farmers are giving the onions at a rate of 25. Then why are you selling at a cost of 80? I don't know, where this country is going, sir. And I'm in a condition of completely ruined. I'm completely ruined by the system.
Mr. Solanki, you raise a valid point. Answer that. How many times does the Congress party speak about onion prices as opposed to the food security bill? How many times do your party leaders talk about food inflation as opposed to the food security bill?
Well, I start by Mr. Solanki. Let me first begin to tell you without batting an eyelid that one shares your sentiment, and we are going to tell you that we agree with you that the common man should not be impacted by anything such as high prices. And I will also tell you that's what I told Arnab at the beginning, that I would like to see this discussion in fact move to food inflation. We acknowledge that as a government, we acknowledge that we have to do a lot more than food inflation. Now that is a fundamental challenge. And I can tell you the solution to that, Mr. Solanki, lies in us actually having better storage, better warehousing.
You had 9 years
better distribution. No, that's one of the reasons.
You realize that after 9 years?
That's the reason why we have the FDI and multi-brand retail, which, by the way, organized retailing puts an end to the middlemen. Number two, a food security bill that will provide subsidized food grains irrespective of market.
Are you going to supply onions under the? Are you going to supply onions under the food security bill?
Sorry,
are you going to supply?
I hope at some point, maybe. Yeah.
You'll supply.
At some point.
You'll supply.
I mean, protein would be the next step.
You'll supply vegetables under the food security bill.
Well, let me tell you.
1 minute. Allow me. Vegetables under the food security.
Can I say something?
Vegetable prices. Are you aware how much vegetable prices have gone up by in the wholesale market of late?
We acknowledge that.
How much has it gone up by? I'd like to reiterate, almost 90%, 89.37%. This has been spurred by a more than fourfold increase in onion prices. Retail vegetable prices have increased 34.93% during the month. Food inflation has gone up to 11.44%. Now, my question, the viewer is asking you today, wax eloquent as much as you care about the food security bill, but why will you skirt a mention of these figures and the onion prices? And how can the agriculture minister say, apply common sense when he's asked a question on these issues?
Well, Adab, the answer to that.
No, you don't feel onion prices...
Let me give you a very quick answer to that. I will keep it very precise. I'll keep it very precise.
No, but I really...
one of the changes, Adab, that has happened is that there has been a big boom in rural wages that has pushed up the cost. I mean, it's a fact.
No, I want to that.
And let me tell you.
You're saying people can afford.
Raghuram Rajan, as the governor of RBI, said it on the day he took over. Containing inflation is going to be his biggest priority, and the reason is simple. Because if you don't contain
your government in 2005. Shailesh Gandhi.
If you don't contain inflation,
Shailesh disagrees.
You're down the line going to create your fiscal deficit is not under control. You have higher inflation. So the solution lies in higher growth, but we can't have higher growth if the interest rates are going to be high.
I think Sanjay mentioned that what is lacking is food processing.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting. The same minister holds charge for agriculture and food processing.
Right.
And he seems more interested in cricket. I think, really speaking, and I'm not trivializing this. I'm not making a joke out of it. 4 months back, NAFED had issued a clear warning.
Yeah.
Exports could have been stopped.
Yeah.
Not done. Onions could have been declared as a commodity. Not done.
The minimum export price was raised. I mean, action was taken.
No.
Banning an export, you don't do it unilaterally. Don't forget agri-trade.
Sanjay, just a minute. exports could have been banned 4 months from then. I'm not saying exports banned. Now we are saying we can't ban exports. Nobody can do it today and say tomorrow we'll ban exports because people have got international commitments. And here I would like to offer 3 or 4 simple solutions. One is declaring onion as an essential commodity, stop exports, procurement from mandis. Even today, there's a very simple short-term thing that can be done. Procure from mandis, cut off the middleman and supply.
So I'm saying, you're saying NAFED, I'd say Competition Commission of India recommended in 2012 that you cancel licenses for a period for people who are seen to be intentionally hoarding. I'm asking today how many licenses were cancelled. And if you tell me today, why were the licenses not cancelled? Where were the commission agents acted upon? Where was where was the collusion stopped? Where was the low price bidding brought in? Who acted at? If you tell me after 9.5 years that, Arnab, you should be asking these questions, we have to build better storage facilities. Well, where are the onions? The onions have disappeared. The onions are being hoarded. And nobody is being punished. Now, Mohandas Pai wants to come in. Mr. Pai, before I come to you, Ravindra Dhande is our next caller, I think. Have I got the first name correct, Mr. Dhande? Good evening.
Yeah.
Where are you calling from? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Mumbai.
Calling from Mumbai, Mr. Dhande, go ahead. Who's your point to? Who are you asking a question to?
Yeah, our government has failed to provide a mechanism that's 100% proof. Now, the middle persons are eating up the whole money. The farmers are not getting, the end consumer is not getting. In 9 years rule, what has the government done till date?
That's a valid point.
The situation has been worsening every day by day.
Exactly.
And they are running a program, food program, for poor people. What are they doing?
Well, somebody just sent me a message and I'm just reading this out. It came just this moment, Mr. Dhande. I think it empathizes. It seems India needs an onion and tomato security bill. It's not a joke anymore. This is absolutely unprecedented what is going on right now. Now, I just want to go to Mr. Pai and then coming back to you for that amount of detail. What we are worried about today is that there is a lack of an emergent response. There is a feeling things will settle down and we don't need to stop exports. That's a problem. Mr. Pai.
Mr. Pai. There is a conspiracy of silence among people who are supposed to rule this country because the trade has political interest, and the same people prevent organized retail to come, which will normalize prices because they will improve supply chain, they'll buy from the mandis, they'll have storage, so you won't see these wild fluctuations. And because of this wild fluctuation, a set of people who manipulate the market make huge amount of money at our cost, and they want to keep this policy away, and everybody is a silent spectator. That's the reality. And it's going to happen after 3 months, it's going to happen after 6 months, it's going to happen periodically in many commodities all over India. Now, the basic root cause is this manipulation, inability of government to take action against hoarders. The government knows, everybody knows. You ask analysts in Bombay, they'll tell you.
I take your point. When people suffer, governments and politicians are expected to listen. In 2010, people suffered. There was a huge shortage of supply of onions due to heavy rains and crop damage. But despite that, Kumar Ketkar, the government continued to allow traders to export huge amounts of onion. So what happened as a result, people here were completely suffering. There was a shortage, there was a price increase, but the exports continued. Now, are we not supposed to ask?
Of course we are.
Whether all this is happening without political collusion?
And more important, the number of holders is very small. And the government government knows who are the holders. Government knows who controls the trade. Central government knows, state governments know. Everybody knows who controls the trade. That number is not huge. Consumers' number is huge. The holders and traders' number is small. Why the traders who are holding are not identified in last 4 years or 9 years, even in 1998 before the elections, even in 1998 before the elections, and those prices, the price of the onions had touched 60 rupees.
No, one second.
Touched 60 rupees. That caused the elections in 1998.
The question is whether we learn from our history.
Holders are known, traders are known, government knows them, government should have taken action.
Can I just share one fact with the viewer tonight? I'm so happy so many of you are calling. I am worried that there's a cyclical pattern to what happens with onion prices, and this can only happen if there's cartelization, monopolies, collusion of interest. Because what happened in 2010 is stunning. 2010, this whole shortage happened, yet the government agencies allowed traders to export 104,000 lakh tons, 1.04 lakh tons of onion in October 2010. And minimum export prices were increased in November. You see what happens? The damage is already done. People have suffered. The money has been lost. The hoarders have made money, Mohandas Pai. After that, the minimum export prices are increased.
Yes.
And I'm worried. What is the date today? 22nd of October. That this November, like in the November of 2010, they will increase. They will say we increase the minimum export price of exports or ban it. But we would have already have suffered. Mr. Pai, is this happening naturally? Is this happening naturally?
But it's not happening naturally. There is a pattern in it.
No, one second.
If you track the prices for the last 2 years,
let us get him in and you can defend after that. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not defending. I'm just saying it makes him less competitive in the global market.
There is a pattern in it. Arnab, you look at the price hikes, you look at the prices in the last 1 year, you'll find out patterns. It happens at frequent intervals. And there's an event. There's a Delhi election going on. If the prices remain high, sentiments of people will go against the government. So people are playing games behind the scenes.
Who's playing the games? Are you saying there's a political interest behind?
Identify them.
Are you saying there's a political interest behind the hoarding?
I don't know. I'm asking the question.
Who are you asking?
The NCP and Congress which rules the roost there.
If you heard what Mohan said correctly,
what is he saying?
Those who are opposed to organized retailing, and we know which party it is in the
name the party. Come on.
Well, the Bharatiya Janata Party. I'm telling you straightforward. The Bharatiya Janata Party is threatened to take back FDI and multi-brand retail.
Are we talking FDI and multi-brand retail?
Well, let me tell you.
You mean FDI and multi-brand retail would have solved your onion prices?
Let me tell you.
Is that what you are suggesting?
Let him complete the accusation, then he'll come to you. Let him complete.
Of the absurd,
No, by the way, let me tell you, not entirely, but the FDI and multi-brand retail, when it gathers momentum and scale, it addresses all the problems.
Onion prices are a problem today.
Let me tell you what happens. Somebody becomes a price maker. 1 minute. Organized retail becomes a price maker, and therefore you cannot have this kind of price sustainable in the marketplace. It's common sense economics. And that is the reason. Tell me what. Can you answer this question, Piyush?
Yeah.
Why has your party gone on record?
What do you
to say? No, I'll tell you the allegation I'm making. Why has your party gone on record to say that FDI multi-brand retail passed by Parliament, not by an executive order, will be withdrawn by you should you come into power, and God forbid that never happens?
By the way, governments can change policy, but I have been on record on channels, including his,
but
I have said
doesn't agree with
we will not do any retrospective amendments in law, by the way.
No.
I am on record on channels, so don't go give lame excuses for your failure to govern. By the way, I just want to correct one perspective.
2 minutes on the debate, 3 callers on the line.
The fact is that this government has also failed to increase the onion production. The per hectare yield in India is low because in the last 9 years they have not incentivized agriculture to grow.
Mr. Goyal, tonight actually we are not. This is an artificial shortage,
which is clearly in the states.
Artificial shortage.
72% of onion production is in UP and rural states.
It's not about who produces; it's about who consumes.
Consumption is all over the country.
Onion is consumed all over the country. There are
production and
non-Congress states.
Production and supplies from your states.
It is. 1 second, please.
On the contrary, the producing
Mr. Deshpande is our next caller on News Hour Viewer. I have a question tonight. Mr. Deshpande, where are you calling from and what's your point tonight? I think you're calling from Pune. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, Arnab. My question is to Mr. Sanjay Jha.
I see.
When is the Prime Minister of our country going to read a paper on onionomics? Well, that is funding of 2014 elections. That is what is happening at the cost of a common voter.
Well, the Prime Minister
we'll take one more call.
has just ensured that for the last 9 years, thanks to his able leadership, this country has grown at an average of over 8% in GDP. And if growth isn't answer for how India has transformed,
Sanjay Malik,
nothing is. I acknowledge we have challenges. I acknowledge we have problems. But let us not ever become so cynical as to dismiss how far the Prime Minister has led this country forward.
You know, that's I expect that. You've not answered. I think the question from Bangalore, last caller, News Hour Viewer. I have a question today, Sanjay Malik, and we're getting. I just want all our panelists to appreciate, and I would like to pay on record, our thanks to the viewers for the quality of questions and the directness with which we are asking tonight. Sure. Sanjay Malik from Bangalore. Good evening and go on.
Good evening, Arnab, and thanks for your opportunity for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, sir.
I fully empathize with what's happening. Unfortunately, these guys, where are the controls of levels of prices? They have not maintained any central or state government controls. What are they doing about it? We have had repeated onion crisis in this country. No lessons have been learned. The governments, whether they are the state or the central government, are poking a snook at the common man. The common man is crying through his eyes, through his ears, through his mouth.
I see.
We are in a situation today where exactly we don't know whether the Congress or the BJP or any other party should be blamed for this, because they are all colluding, they are all interested.
I agree.
Mohandas Pai very clearly says, and I fully agree with what he says, that this is a total exercise in electioneering.
You know, sir,
they are definitely preparing for this.
You know, sir,
my question, one minute,
okay.
I've not finished. Mohandas Pai knows me personally. Sanjay Malik, he knows. And incidentally, your agriculture minister refuses to take any lessons from here. He perhaps has forgotten the slap that he got. He is now looking for being hit for a six.
Well, you know, I won't go that far. The point is, Mr. Malik, I appreciate your point. I think you've heard him there. And you know, I just want to add one thing. My greatest concern is when tragedy repeats itself, right, Mr. Pai and Shazia? 2010, your retail prices were 150% that of the marked up wholesale prices. With this exactly, this is like a bad nightmare repeating itself. I mean, I don't know how powerful these forces are. They must be Mohandas Pai that they do this to the common man year after year after year.
And the government sits quiet and watches.
Year after year after year.
Shazia wants to come in, so does Mohandas Pai. Shazia, go ahead.
Yes. Yes, I agree with almost everything that Mr. Pai said. But except for the point when he talked about immobility of the government, I don't think the government has been immobile. I think there is a certain degree of complicity, because such a huge hoax happens year after year. It can't happen without the complicity of the political masters. That's point number one. We would like to know now onwards as to what is being done about inclusion of onions in the essential commodities list. One, what action is being taken against hoarders and cartelization? 3, why ban exports only now? You export only when you have a surplus, but why only now and not the last 2 years when there has been a spiraling crisis? And 4th, what is the way out of this situation?
Well, I think
also, why Centre asking the states now to do something about it?
Shazia, on a normal time, on a normal conditions, the production of onions is around 16 million tons. Demand is around 12. You have a surplus to export.
This is not
this time there has been a bad crop.
This is not a demand supply problem. This is not a demand supply. You decide now whether it's a demand supply problem. It is a hoarding problem.
Absolutely.
No, don't say it's first. Take that back. That it's a demand supply problem.
1 minute.
No, it's not a demand supply problem.
Let me tell you,
it's not.
Not right now.
It's not a demand. No, I am asking about right now. It's not a demand supply problem. It is a created problem.
I think all state governments must take stringent and immediate action.
All what we want tonight, and this question goes out to all, do you believe tonight, more than anything else, this passing the buck must stop? On that, I have consensus among everyone watching Newshour tonight. Absolutely. I put that to the House. I thank you for the debate.
There's consensus here also. There's no question of passing the buck.
And I think
they have to take responsibility for leadership.
And I think you can do it if you want to. Sure. People will watch whether you do it. I thank you for a good and open debate tonight. I thank our viewers for participating.